Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email us tmosso at the1916company.com for your purchase, pricing, and availability questions. Today, we're discussing my favorite kind of watch to present, something from a brand with a rich and illustrious history, a deep back catalog, and a watch that represents outstanding value in complications. It is the IWC GST Perpetual Calendar Chronograph. This is reference 3756-07 in steel. The GST collection launched in 1998, was made in gold, steel, and titanium, hence the name, and this is a sports watch. So 43 millimeters in diameter in stainless steel. It's 16.4 millimeters thick. If you just measure the lugs of the case, the lug-to-lug dimension is 49 millimeters. But if we measure the first link on each side, we find it's actually quite a bit broader at 54 millimeters across the wrist. And you can see why I say that. I cannot compress the bracelet to pull straight down at a right angle out of the lug. So I want to give you a little bit of a sense of how it sits across the wrist without just measuring the lugs. Now on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference, I'd say this is about it. I don't think you can wear this watch on a much smaller wrist than mine. You can give it a go at 15 centimeters circumference, but I think 16 and up is really ideal. There's your down the barrel shot, there's your cuff shot. Fine for a jacket, probably not the tightest of dress sleeves. And then over the top, which sort of exaggerates the width of the watch. This is actually a pretty good fit on my wrist. Now taking a look at the bracelet, fully integrated, and from before that was cool. So the lug flows into the taper of the bracelet. The bracelet has polished intermediates, satin primaries. And if you take a look, every single link on both sides removable. You can even see the use of an intermediate-sized link. It's actually about a link and a half, and you can use that for fine-tuning the fit in case you find yourself in between links size-wise. The clasp features engine turning internally, and then there is a single trigger release. So once it's closed, it's actually quite a bit thinner than, let me get the stupid tag out of the way, quite a bit thinner than most sports watch clasps. Very thin, low profile, and then a single trigger to release it. Taking a look at the case, we have these sharp angular lugs broken out from the case band. Case band is satinated, lug hoods are satinated, and then the bezel and the lug profiles are polished. We have a screw-down crown. The watch is 120 meters water resistant. You can see the old and much loved discontinued IWC fish crown. A lot of these have been subsequently replaced with the motto crowns that say Probus Scafusia. Folks who are connoisseurs of IWC from this period will look for this crown. This model was made from 2001 to 2004. You can see we have a relatively thick sapphire that creates some nice off-axis distortion, and these little drillings in the outer face of the bezel, they serve no practical purpose, but I believe they were the IWC design department's tribute to the long-running and conceptually similar Gerald Genta designed Ingenieur series. On the dial, we have a lovely gray, and it is gray, not silver-white, with a multi-stepped outer track for reading chronograph seconds, fractions of seconds, minutes, and then inboard we have rhodium-plated steel faceted applique indices, and likewise the hands rhodium-plated steel. Let's do a quick lume shot. This watch actually has quite a bit of lume, but it's only on the hands. Nevertheless, you get a rough sense of what time it is. We have a moon phase up at the top that need not be corrected for 122 years. Take a good look at it. It features an aventurine glass disc. Now, this is the Kurt Klaus Perpetual Calendar System, originally devised by IWC watchmaker Kurt Klaus in the mid-1980s, and it is sequential, programmed, coordinated, and uses a quickset system. So all you have to do is engage the quickset, set the correct date for the year you're in, and everything, including the moon phase, moves into sync. So you don't need to look up the day, date, month, and moon phase. It sets all of that automatically. And of course, if you pull the crown all the way, it activates hacking seconds. The perpetual calendar can deal with leap years and irregular length months. It does not need to be factory reset until the year 2100. And yes, we have mechanically driven years and decades. The century and millennium have to be manually reset by the watchmaker. We have a little bit of a concentric pattern inside each one of the sub-registers. You can see running seconds over at 9 o'clock. Underneath the case back, though you can't see it, we have the heavily modified Valjoux 7750, which has become the IWC caliber 79261. Now, back when these were being made, IWC was comprehensively rebuilding the Abausch kits that it received from ETA, effectively making even the chronograph part of the movement its own, and then the Kurt Klaus module, goes without saying, is IWC's own construction. This movement features unidirectional automatic winding, a 44-hour power reserve, stop seconds, quick set, perpetual calendar, moon phase. It pivots on 39 joules, and it has a 30-millimeter diameter, which is a nice size for a large sports watch. All of that protected down to a level of 120 meters. Now, the chronograph operates with cam action, but the quality of the cam action is exemplary. If you didn't know it was a cam, you would think it's a column wheel. That's part of IWC tuning this movement in-house. And then it uses an oscillating pinion lateral clutch, which has almost as little extraneous movement as a vertical clutch. That's the advantage of an oscillating pinion clutch. If you love this watch, reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.